Welcome to the Plumb5 Web Engagement tutorial. By the end of this tutorial, you should be able to create, configure, and manage forms using the Interaction Designer. You would also be shown how to analyze responses and create reports. The Web Engagement module opens to a dashboard. Here, you would be able to visualize the form responses, impressions, and closure. At the bottom of the chart, you get to see the summary, based on the duration filter at the top. Right next to the summary number, you also see a green upward arrow with a percentage. This denotes the trend, or how the form is performing based on the last duration. For example, if you have filtered the chart by week, then the trend would be a comparison with the past week. If the chart is filtered by month, then the comparison is with the last month. Here, you notice that the responses and the impressions have increased by 100% from the last month. In case of a negative trend, you would see a red downward arrow. Similarly, filtered by the day. Next, we move on to the Manage Forms section. This section lists out all your web interactions by their types. This section also lets you activate and prioritize the form display sequence. You can preview the form by clicking the preview link. This is a video banner. Please note, Plumb5 supports embedded YouTube videos. If you have a video link from your own server, please make sure that the video link supports cross-origin access. Now, for a quick demo on how this works. This is our target website, where we wish to display the forms and banners. By default, all newly created campaigns would be inactive. Click the status icon to activate it. Next to the status, you see a column titled Page Type. This column denotes the type of form or banner. There are two types of forms: in-page and on-page. In-page banner is embedded directly into the page and appears as part of it. On-page banner is a pop-up that is overlaid on the page. Let's go ahead and activate one of the on-page banners. We can now see our on-page banner displayed on the page. Let's turn on another banner. This time, we shall activate a video banner. We are not able to see the video banner that we just activated. This is where the priority of the banner comes into play. If there are more than one active forms or banners for a page, and if the banners have no rules attached to it, then the priority of the banner is used for display. Click the up or down arrow to increase or decrease the priority of the form. I have just now increased the priority of the video banner. Now when I refresh the web page, I see the video banner being displayed. You can also use this section to create and manage forms. The forms can be deleted using the delete icon. The Interaction Designer opens to a series of templates that are commonly used for web engagement. Plumb5 comes with a default set of 6 to 9 interactions, which range from custom HTML to video banners, to social feeds. For the purpose of this demo, I will create a basic form. Clicking on the Create button opens the Interaction Designer. This is an interactive content editor. You can see the default banner pop up on the bottom left of the page. You can enter the address of the target site to get a preview of how the banner looks on the web page. The editor on the right is where you can tweak the styles and text to change the look and feel of the form. Form text. This is where you change the title and the subtitle. Form field section lets you choose the number of input fields. You can also add input fields at a later stage, using the form editor, which will be explained next. Styles. Here you can make changes to the visual aspects of the form. You can use the color picker to select a background color. For this demo, I shall use a background image. Now that we have the background in place, we can go ahead and edit the colors and fonts for the display texts. Lastly, the button design. Settings lets you control the position settings of the form. Here you can control whether the form is on page or in page. You can also tweak the alignment and animation properties of the form. Once we are done with the visual changes, we can enter the URL of the target website in the preview text box, situated at the top. Now that we have the web page in the background, we get to see a live preview of the interaction form. Once everything is finalized, you can click the Load CSS button to save the form. Now you get to the Interaction Editor screen. If you are an advanced user, here you have the flexibility to make granular changes to the form. You can also change the settings. Display rules. This is where all the automation rules are configured for the form. Plumb5 comes with the ability to place rules by audience, behavior, interaction and by profile. For example, by audience, you can configure whether the form should be displayed to all visitors or just customers. You can also configure whether this form should be excluded or included for a group. Similarly, by behavior. Here you can set to show the form only to the users who have visited more than once, and have a page depth of 4. There are multiple rules that can be configured, based on engagement channels, interactions and frequency. Please note, a help tip icon is provided for most of the rules, which you can click to know more about it. The last section of the editor is the response settings. Here you can set whether someone needs to be notified via mail or via SMS when a form is filled. You can also choose to respond back to the customer once he fills up the form. Responses. Here you get a list of people who have interacted with the form. You can filter the grid by day, week, month or year. Here, you also get a quick snapshot of how many forms were viewed, interacted and closed by the user. You can also choose to add the user to an existing group, or create a new group. Clicking on the user icon will open up the unified customer profile. This section summarizes all of the engagements of the customer in a single view. You can view the user's journey across the website by clicking on the User Journey button. You can view the clickstream of the user, also, how the user responded to other engagement channels, like mail or SMS. External resources. This section lets you add custom JavaScript or style sheets to your form. If you are managing the content, you might want to add a new style sheet to the form. Add a URL for the style sheet file, which has an extension CSS. Add a description and save. You can add a JavaScript URL as well. For example, if you have a custom calendar control which you wish to use in the form, you can add a URL of the JavaScript link. It will get loaded into the form automatically. All links would be inactive when created. Click on the status icon to activate the external resources. Now, we move on to the reports section. This section lists out all the users, with the details of the information given by them, in the form. Let's see this with the demo. I shall fill up the form with some information and submit. We can see that the new form entry is appearing in our reports. You can choose to add the user to a group by using the Add Group icon, or send a mail. Custom reports. Here you can create a custom report based on the parameters assigned by you. You can choose to filter by duration, or by the form, or by field. You can also perform a text search. Banner reports. This is a consolidated view, by users who have interacted with the banner. This also gives you a quick summary for how many times the user has clicked, or viewed the form. Clicking on the plus icon next to the visitor shows the details of the banners. This brings us to the end of the tutorial. Thank you.
Plumb5, the unified data platform.